Dollar cost averaging is one of those concepts that we always hear about, and it's touted as being a great thing, but is it really? And what is it? In reality, when you're younger and you start putting money into a 401k on a regular basis, you're dollar cost averaging. Now you may say, I'm just saving money on a regular basis so I can retire someday, and you are. But there's something mathematical that happens with dollar cost averaging that's very powerful. And that is by reinvesting the same amount, the same dollar amount of money on a periodic basis, whether it's every week or every month or every quarter, by doing the same dollar amount. During those periods where the thing that you're investing in has gone up in value and the price is higher, because you're investing a fixed dollar amount, by definition, you're buying fewer shares. Conversely, in those periods where the price of that thing you're investing in has gone down, now with that fixed dollar amount, you're going to buy more shares. So what you've essentially done is take the average purchase price and you've pushed it down. And I always like to say investing is simple but not easy, right? Buy low and sell high is a simple concept. And dollar cost averaging helps you fulfill that first half of the goal of buying low. And just by putting the same dollar amount in on a regular basis. Again, because you buy more new shares when the market's down and fewer shares when the market's up. So let's give an example over a 2-month period. Let's say that you're putting $100 a month into a fund, mutual fund, let's say. And the first month it's worth $10. Well, clearly, as you see on your screen, you bought 10 shares that first month because 10 times 10 gets you your $100, right? But let's say the unthinkable happens. A month later, the fund drops to $5 a share. But you stick with it because you heard dollar cost averaging is a good thing, so you're not going to give up on your plan. Month 2, you put $100 in, and again at $5 a share, so now you're buying 20 shares in month 2. The thing I want you to consider is, what is my average purchase price per share after 2 months? Well, if you just said $7.50, you're with 99% of the people watching this video, because you average $10 per share with $5 per share, and of course it's $7.50. But as you can see on the screen, that's not the answer. Because you bought 20 shares at $5, you only bought 10 shares at $10. So the weighted average cost is $6.66, which means when the market comes back from $5 a share, you'll recover quicker. And when the market gains, it starts making money when it goes above $6.66. It doesn't have to get above $7.50. Okay? That's the best news for dollar cost averaging. However, sadly, dollar cost averaging works great when you're younger, when you're putting in a chunk of money and you don't have a huge lump sum. But as you get older and your lump sum grows relative to the amount you're putting in, let's say you're approaching retirement, you've got $1 million, and you're putting $20,000 a year into your plan. Well, that's only 2% per year that you're adding to the plan. Whereas when you first started, you were probably adding as much money in that year as you had in the plan. So dollar cost averaging had a more profound effect. Once you get to have that $1 million, now that 20,000 means, yeah, I'm buying an extra 2% shares, 20 shares on 20,000 on my million. I'm buying that at a lower cost, but it really doesn't do much to get your average cost down. And that's one of the reasons why also, as people get older, if they're investing in the stock market, oftentimes they'll use higher dividend paying stocks. Because if they use those dividends now to reinvest and buy more shares, now they're double dollar cost averaging. They're dollar cost averaging with their regular savings and contribution, but they're also dollar cost averaging by letting those dividends reinvest on a regular basis. And just to wrap up, no conversation about dollar cost averaging would be complete if we didn't talk about the opposite of dollar cost averaging, which is reverse dollar cost averaging. And you know, if dollar cost averaging is a good thing, you could probably imagine intuitively that reverse dollar cost averaging is a bad thing. Well, what is that? Well, that's when somebody retires, and instead of living off the interest or dividends, they take withdrawals from their fund, let's say their mutual fund, on a regular basis. Now the math works exactly the same as dollar cost averaging, but in reverse. Because now, in the periods when the market's down, you're forced to sell more shares to get the cash flow you need as a retiree. In the periods in which the market values are up, you're selling fewer shares. So the math works the same, but now instead of taking your purchase price and pushing it down, you're taking your sales price and pushing it down. Remember, the equation is buy low and sell high. right? It's not buy low and sell low. Okay? So they shouldn't surprise you though, because there's a lot of things in life that work great in one direction, but not in another. Toothpaste, for an example. Toothpaste works great when you're trying to squeeze it out of the tube, but if you ever try to get the toothpaste back in the tube, it doesn't work so great. Dollar cost averaging.